Hello everybody, welcome back to another truck showcase video. This time we're showing off the Mack Anthem. I'm going to be taking you through what the engine specs look like for the Mack, what the transmission specs look like, how the dash looks, how's the cruise control shown, how's your speed shown, does it have distance to empty, right, how's the visibility in this thing, what's the J-brake sound like. So all the nuts and bolts, we'll dive into it for the things that really matter. With that said, let's go ahead and jump into the shop. So as we go through the chassis, that's going to be your typical 6x4. This one has 186 gallons of fuel. The mileage is not terrible, though. I know a lot of trucks have 200, but the Mack is a little bit of an oddball, similarly to how the Volvos are in here. I say it's an oddball because they do run their own engines. So the trucks are unique to Mack. And currently we have the MP8 505 Charlie in here. You'll notice it is limited on its available torque. And it goes up to 22 newton meters of torque at 500 horsepower. And that's about all you're going to get. The transmission, before we jump into the stats, is the typical Eaton Ultra Shift. So the transmission that the Mack receives is similar to the rest of the top tier trucks. However, that engine torque is hurting it on both its hill traversal and its heavy cargo capacity. It's not a terrible truck by any means. Just note that these stats will not be maxed out. Even if you mess with the configurations, you stretch the truck out, what have you, you're still stuck with the Mack 505. And that is because Mack does make their own engines. That's just how it is in real life. Again, limited here at 2522. You can opt for lower horsepower motors, but you can't increase the torque at all. That said, this was one of my first trucks. It is not a terrible truck by any means. I drove it for many hours. I had a great time doing it. And namely because of what is inside the cab. We jump in here, take a look at everything, turn the lights on. You can see right here, it's going to have your speedometer right there, your miles per gallon on the left. It's having through the dash. There's your miles per gallon. And then a key note here, again, this is limited on trucks and ATS. It's not very common, but this Mack does show distance to empty. It also shows your remaining fuel, and you also see right there on pretty much a full tank of diesel, we're getting about 1900 miles to a tank, which again, it's not too bad. You're going to get 3 or 4 jobs out of that, fairly easily, unless you're doing extremely long hauls. Then even then you should be able to make it fully through your haul and fill up at the other side. The big pet peeve of mine comes down to visibility, and I think that's everybody's pet peeve. If we're going to make a left-hand turn looking this way, that mirror being pushed back so far is actually helpful if you're going through yards and things like that in order to go get to your load and hitch on. But if you want to make a straight left turn, when you're trying to look that way, you have a big blind spot. And then the right side is the same thing. If I'm navigating through a truck yard to locate a trailer, having that little bit of space at the front of that right window there is helpful. But when you want to make a right hand turn, it's just in your way. So some people love it, some hate it. I'm kind of neutral about it. Sometimes I just kind of wing it, and if a car's there, I'm sorry. But another, I guess, perk for me at least, maybe you guys are different, but the bobblehead placement here on the Mack is spot on. It's phenomenal. You can see I got my Spider-Man making out my Hula girl there. I call her Old Mary Jane, and you got the little bulldog showing off the Mack heritage there. So anyways, let's hit the road. Let me hit the speedometer up here. I'll show you guys the cruise control in action, and then I'll let you guys listen to this J-brake as well. We'll go down to the test yard. We'll do a quick 360 and just kind of see how the truck feels. So a very quiet truck for driving. It's also very smooth. There's not a lot of rumble in the force feedback, which if you're doing long hauls could be a great thing. Gonna do a go down here, do a little U-turn. And this kind of shows off the maneuverability too. Alright, no issues. I'll get this thing up to speed. Oop, that's the blinker. We want cruise control. So right here is the cruise control. And pretty easy to see. And then if we go ahead and accelerate some more and hit that J brake. I need to turn that cruise off. Apologies. We'll get in here. I'll do the J brake in here. You can kind of hear the J brake a little bit right there. But let me get a proper run up. Go ahead. And you can see the cruise control, or the dash has an indicator for the J brake as well. Right now it says off. When I hit the J brake, it's back on. It says it let off the accelerator. It's going to kick in. So again, pretty nice sounding J brake. I think I definitely do prefer the Peterbilt, but this is a good runner-up. And then we'll come back down here. I'll do a little circle. Show you guys what that looks like. So yeah, just gotta do a 360 here. Full turn. And you can see the maneuverability is quite good on this truck to the point I think you can actually get this thing to slide. But yeah, overall, very solid truck. If you were going to have this as your first purchase, it wouldn't be a bad one. Alright, it's not the best out there due to the engine, unfortunately. But if you're a big Mack fan, this is a great pickup. I will also be reviewing the Pinnacle here before too long. If you guys are into the older style trucks, I'll show that off as well. So please make sure you like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things, and we will catch you guys in the next one.